Imagine pulling up a heavy fishing net in the dead of night. You expect a massive haul of fish. Instead, you find a monster that threatens to sink your entire boat. These are the absolute biggest animals ever captured. Today, we are looking at real titans of the wild. Humans think we are at the top of the food chain. Out in the extreme corners of the globe, nature hides giants that make us look like absolute prey. Deep under the frozen ice of the Antarctic, something gigantic is hunting in the pitch black. In 2007, a commercial fishing crew was working the freezing waters. They felt a massive, dead weight on their lines. The boat actually tilted from the immense drag. They fought for 2 terrifying hours to reel in what they thought was a world record catch. But as it finally broke the surface, panic set in. They realized it was a living sea monster. It was a colossal squid. It weighed over 1,000 pounds. Its eyes were the size of dinner plates. They are biologically designed to see in the absolute darkness of the abyss. Its tentacles were armed with rotating, razor-sharp hooks. These hooks are meant for tearing giant prey apart in seconds. The creature was so incredibly massive and dangerous that the crew could not safely bring it aboard. They had to rig a makeshift system. They froze it solid right there on the deck. It was the only way to transport it safely back to port without capsizing the vessel. It remains one of the most shocking deep-sea discoveries of our time. It proves that the deepest oceans still belong to the monsters. But you do not have to brave the deep ocean to find impossible giants. Freshwater hides terrifying secrets of its own, lurking just below the muddy surface. In northern Thailand, local villagers set out for a normal day on the river. They cast their nets, expecting a standard catch to feed their families. Instead, they netted a Mekong giant catfish that looked like a prehistoric mutation. It was nearly 9 feet long. It weighed a staggering 646 pounds. The sheer weight of the fish meant a normal retrieval was impossible. It took dozens of men pulling a massive, reinforced net just to drag it toward the riverbank. The beast fought back with incredible thrashing power. It nearly dragged several fishermen straight into the deadly current. They fought the giant for hours under the blistering sun. Their hands bled from the friction of the ropes. This titan remains the largest freshwater fish ever officially recorded. It proves that our local rivers still hold creatures far larger than we can possibly comprehend. Moving into the thick jungle, one stealthy predator terrorized an entire village until the locals finally decided to fight back. In the dangerous marshlands of the Philippines, livestock and even people were mysteriously vanishing without a trace. The culprit was a monster named Lolong. He was a massive saltwater crocodile that had lived unchecked for decades. He grew larger and bolder with every passing year. When a professional capture team finally tracked him down, they were horrified by his true size. He measured over 20 feet long. He weighed more than 2,000 pounds. A standard capture net was completely useless against his thick, bone-plated armor. He snapped regular ropes like fragile twigs. The beast dragged traps deep into the mud. It took a dedicated team 3 solid weeks of non-stop tracking. They used specialized steel traps and heavy industrial cables to finally secure him. When they eventually pulled him onto dry land, it took over 100 men to move him onto a reinforced truck. He was officially crowned the largest crocodile ever placed in captivity. His capture finally ended a terrifying reign over the local swamplands. But locals still whisper that an even larger crocodile might be lurking in those very same waters. Finally, deep in the Amazon basin, a construction crew stumbled upon a living, breathing nightmare. They were conducting a routine, controlled explosion to clear dirt and rock for a new dam. The blast shook the earth. When the massive dust cloud finally settled, workers went to inspect the giant crater. What they found stopped them dead in their tracks. they discovered a massive green anaconda. It was over 30 feet long. It weighed close to 900 pounds. Its muscular body was as thick as an old tree trunk. That much pure muscle is easily capable of crushing a large animal to death in seconds. This giant snake was so impossibly large, it forced the entire heavy machinery project to a sudden, terrifying halt. The massive excavators looked small next to the sheer length of the reptile. The crew could only stand back in absolute awe. They realized they had unearthed a true giant of the jungle. It is a stark reminder that we are just visitors in their world, and nature will always have the final say.